1 out of 52. Let's talk about some media. This week I watched one new movie, read one new book, and listened to one new album, as I hope to do for every week of the year. And now I'm going to share my thoughts with you about this week's lineup. Let's get into it, shall we? The movie I watched this week I actually saw in theaters, and it was Sonic Hedgehog 3. Sonic has a runtime of about an hour and 50 minutes, and I would say that each minute has like the same the same amount of enjoyable as the rest are, you know. The pacing was pretty good, I'd say. Like, it never dragged, it never felt rushed, but also, what do I know? Those are my thoughts, though. I will say, every time I see a Sonic movie, I think about when they first released his design and the internet went insane. This was him, though. So yeah, they bullied him, and he was forced to have a glow up, you could say. And he grew up, and I do think he's cutesy. He has like a zest for life in his eyes like he didn't before. And I don't know about you, but I do like my little like animated characters to have a zest for life in their eyes. And I think it's impressive that he's maintained that since he was relentlessly cyberbullied on the internet before his movie even came out. Poor guy. Good for the glow up though, I guess. Anyways, themes of Sonic include Sonic, Sega, Shadow the Hedgehog, I guess. I don't know why I said any of that. Someone must have taken over. Anyways, the themes included loss and acceptance, friendship, and like the perpetual presence of choice in your life. Why am I using such fancy words? They're hedgehogs. But yeah, I would definitely recommend this movie if you like know anything about Sonic or you're just looking for like a fun little lighthearted time. I would probably watch the first two movies so you know like what's going on. But also, it's not that deep. If you like stumble into Sonic 3, you know, it'll be okay. Jim Carrey will like comfort you. You'll know what's going on. You won't be lost. It's Sonic. They're hedgehogs. Anyways, I would rate this movie probably like a 5.5 out of 10, because it's not life-changing, you know, but like, you know, I watched it, I'm like, haha, yay, like, it's fun, it's enjoyable. Next, the book I read this week was Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. Alice Oseman is also the creator of Heartstopper, if you've read the graphic novels, or maybe you've seen the Netflix series of the same name. I have loved like their work for a while now, and I've been so excited to read like this book for quite some time. Plus, a friend of mine actually recommended this book to me like 7 months ago. So yeah, Radio Silence is a YA coming of age novel that is 480 pages long. It follows two teenagers on the cusp of adulthood, Francis and Alid, and you know, we follow them through their like day-to-day like life struggles, their navigation into adulthood, and the overall experiences that they have like trying to figure out who they are and their exploration of their own personhood. And I think that is beautiful. But like, who are they? What do they want? They don't know, but they'll figure it out. They'll take you on a ride. Our two like focal characters, Francis and Alid, become friends because they bond over the podcast series Universe City, which Alid just so happens to be like the anonymous creator of, and Francis has been a fan of since it was first released, and I think that's lovely. Friendship. I loved this book. I think the characters are so enjoyable in their own unique ways. There's like a diverse group of characters, so there's something for everybody, and it makes it all the more realistic, which is fun and something I like in a book, you know. And it just like flowed really well. Like, the dialogue was very natural. It never felt forced. It's like, yes, these are real people. They see themselves as complex, but then they don't understand why, like, people don't understand, like, the simple things they think, you know? And that was wonderful to me. Also, the chapters are very short, so it's like, ooh, just a, like, quick little read if you want. But also, I didn't want to put this book down. I picked it up and I was like, ooh, I want to know what happens next. I want to see where this is leading me. Like, why is this? Why is that? So, it was great. Fortunately and unfortunately, this book did have a cry count for me, and that count was 2. I cried 2 times while reading this book. Both, though, were like, it wasn't like, oh my god, everything is terrible. It was like, oh my god, this is beautiful. Cried 1. Cried 2, I was like, oh my god, these characters are so beautiful. Let them know peace and love. But I'm sensitive. It's who I am. The book covered a wide variety of themes. Standout ones to me, though, were like academic pressure, friendship, and like exploration of identity, which I think are great themes, you know. Book is very big on like finding your own voice, and I love that. I highly recommend this book. I think it was wonderful. It was so enjoyable to read. So yeah, I would rate this I rate this probably like an 8 out of 10. Yeah. Next, the album I listened to this week was Submarine by the Marías. I had never actually heard about this artist before. I never heard any of their music to like my knowledge, but a friend of mine actually recommended this and I was super excited to listen to it. The Marías are an alternative like indie pop band, and Submarine is a 14-track album that it runs about 45 minutes. Exhilarating. I actually found that I enjoyed this album a lot. On initial listen, I would say that there were like a few standout tracks to me. Sometimes I found myself maybe wishing for like more vocal or musical like variety. But then I re-listened to it maybe like a couple of times, focusing more on the intention and the lyricism, and that is definitely like the way to go with this album. A lot of it is very much like, oh, I can just put this in a playlist to hang out with my friends, but if you like tune into the lyrics, this is a very touching album. It touches on themes of loss, betrayal, heartbreak, yearning, things I love in an album. May not be appetizing to all ears, but like, I love a sad album. I love a sad song. My top 3 tracks on this album were Blur, Run Your Mouth, and Love You Anyway. Honorable mention though to I No Puedo, which was in my top 3 until my most recent re-listen. I love that track. I think it was fun. Had to mention her. But yeah, I would recommend this album. I think it's a very like engaging listen, you know, to me. My brother also recommends it. If that means something to you, get an outside opinion, 16-year-old boy, if that's the opinion you need. I would rate this album probably a 6.5 or 7 out of 10. I'm indecisive though, so you're not getting a definite answer on that. I'm leaning 6.5. I don't know. All right, so that was my media for the week. I would say that this lineup was actually pretty good all around. My favorite, I think it was kind of obvious from the rating and the fact that I talked about it the most, was Radio Silence. Shout out the book. It was great. But yeah, solid lineup. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, you can leave recommendations in the comments and I will get to them eventually. Maybe even this week. Who knows? But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Big love. Godspeed. See you guys next week. Oh my god. These characters are so beautiful. Let them know peace and love. Is that crazy?
Yeah.
Nonsense.